Keeping a target in suspense is about crafting a sense of unpredictability that keeps them continually guessing. It involves presenting oneself as intriguing and delightfully unpredictable, leaving the target in a state of anticipation where they're never quite sure what to expect. Suspense is the lifeblood of a deep seduction because it disrupts a target's mental balance, pulling them into a state of focused curiosity and excitement. The seducer creates a world where things are ever-evolving, infusing interactions with subtle mysteries, surprises, and unanswered questions that fuel the target's desire to know more. When successful, this tactic builds an emotional dependency where the target begins craving every encounter and revelation, hoping to understand or experience what comes next. At its core, suspense and seduction is psychological. Humans have a natural tendency to crave completion, resolution, or clarity in their interactions. When someone seems unpredictable or vaguely distant, they awaken an unfulfilled curiosity. If, for instance, the seducer alludes to stories from their past without fully revealing them, or if they hint at future plans without specifics, it creates an atmosphere that keeps the target guessing. This intentional withholding of information acts like a mental puzzle, prompting the target to constantly consider and reconsider the seducer's next move. This lingering sense of mystery is difficult to resist because it activates the imagination and stirs up deeper emotional responses. In practice, suspense isn't created by drastic or chaotic behaviors, which might come across as alarming or manipulative. Instead, the most effective suspense is subtle and nuanced. A seducer might start a conversation or tell a story but leave it unfinished, trailing off at a particularly interesting point. Or they may promise to share something personal next time, creating anticipation. Perhaps they change plans at the last minute, shifting their behavior enough to make the target wonder why. This restraint keeps the target emotionally invested because they're now anticipating something without having any clear idea of what that something will be. Over time, this subtle suspense becomes addictive, like a slow-burning fire that only intensifies with every interaction. Another powerful aspect of suspense is the seducer's willingness to alternate between closeness and distance, using brief periods of detachment to heighten the target's attachment. After an engaging, deeply personal conversation, for instance, the seducer might disappear for a day or two, creating a void that leaves the target eager for their return. The target begins to interpret this temporary distance as part of the seducer's mysterious allure, wondering if something is changing or if they themselves might have played a role. This ebb and flow, or push-pull dynamic, draws the target in further, making them more aware of the emotional highs they experience in the seducer's presence and the lows they feel in their absence. However, suspense also requires a calculated progression to avoid frustrating or alienating the target. The seducer should eventually offer enough satisfaction, a glimpse into their mysterious persona, or a revelation to balance the suspense. Too much suspense without reward can create frustration rather than attraction, pushing the target to pull away. Thus, the seducer gives away just enough to maintain the target's interest and curiosity without fully answering their questions or providing resolution. This interplay of tension and partial release is essential for fostering a connection that feels dynamic and alive, ensuring that the target remains emotionally engaged without ever feeling secure. Lastly, suspense plays into the target's own desires, needs, or fantasies. By mirroring or subtly echoing these, the seducer can take them on a personalized emotional journey where they feel uniquely understood. For example, if the target values spontaneity, the seducer might take them on an unplanned outing, introducing them to something new and exciting. If the target is more introspective, the seducer could reveal philosophical musings or deep insights without fully unpacking them, creating an aura of intellectual or spiritual intrigue. Whatever the approach, suspense is a dynamic way of aligning with the target's inner world, presenting them with the illusion of an uncharted emotional territory that they're eager to explore. In seduction, suspense transforms ordinary encounters into moments charged with possibility and emotion. It taps into a target's curiosity, sense of wonder, and longing for novelty, making the seducer appear endlessly fascinating. In the absence of clear answers or predictable behaviors, the target's mind becomes fixated on the mystery before them, amplifying their emotional dependency and leaving them more willing to pursue and remain engaged with the seduction. The beauty of suspense is that it doesn't just generate attraction. It builds a form of mental captivation, binding the target's thoughts to the seducer in a way that feels uniquely intense, compelling, and unforgettable.